We've all been there, right? You have a travel experience you want to share, but you wonder, does my feedback ever actually lead to change? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to write feedback reports that really, truly make a difference.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dive into why your feedback is so incredibly powerful. Then we'll get clear on the difference between a simple review and a formal report. After that, we'll break down the key parts of a great report, give you the exact phrases to use for maximum impact, and then we'll wrap it all up with a real-world case study.
It's such a frustrating feeling, isn't it? You spend time writing a comment online, and you just hope it gets seen by the right people. Well, the good news is, the structured approach we're about to walk through is designed to do just that, to cut through the noise and make sure your voice is heard.
Let's kick things off with the big why. Because structured feedback isn't just a complaint or a compliment. It's actually a vital tool that helps the whole tourism industry get better.
You see, effective feedback does 4 really important things. First, it helps businesses pinpoint exactly where they can improve their service, like a super slow check-in process. When they fix that, it directly leads to better customer satisfaction. For the people in charge, these reports are gold because they help them make smarter business decisions. And all of this creates a culture where they're always trying to get better.
Okay, this next part is a really big deal. Getting the difference between a casual online review and a formal feedback report is absolutely key to making a real impact. So think about it like this. A customer review is usually personal and informal, like just typing, "The Wi-Fi was slow." A feedback report, on the other hand, is structured, it's formal, and it presents data, saying something like, "The hotel received only a 40% positive rating for Wi-Fi speed." One is just an opinion, the other, well, that's evidence.
So what does one of these impactful reports actually look like? It's pretty straightforward, really. It follows a simple, logical blueprint. Let's break it down.
Every strong report has these 4 key parts. You start with a clear introduction that says what the report is about. Next, you present specific, factual observations, just the facts. Then you evaluate those observations, talking about the strengths and the weaknesses. And finally, and this is the most important part, you give them real, actionable recommendations for how they can improve.
All right, so we've got the structure down. Now let's talk about the words themselves. Using the right phrases is like having a toolkit that makes your feedback sound more professional, more credible, and way more impactful. In that observations section we just talked about, your main goal is to be totally objective. You're basically a reporter, just stating the facts, and using certain phrases helps you keep that neutral, unbiased tone. Using phrases like "it was noted that" or "it was observed that" might sound a little formal, but that's the whole point. This small change in language instantly elevates your feedback from a personal complaint into a credible, factual report. Okay, so after you've laid out the facts, it's time for your assessment. This is where you get to connect the dots and explain the real impact of what you observed, using what we call evaluative phrases. The key here is to always link your evaluation directly to an observation. So instead of just saying something was good or bad, you explain why. Phrases like, "the service was satisfactory because," or "there was a lack of," give clear reasons for your assessment, which makes your argument so much stronger. And now for my favorite part. This is where you get to shift from being a critic to being a problem solver. A truly powerful report doesn't just point out issues, it actually proposes solutions. And recommendation phrases are how you signal that you're here to help. Phrases like "I suggest that" or "I recommend implementing a" are so great because they're direct and action-oriented. They completely transform your feedback from just a critique into a valuable tool that can actually help them get better. All right, let's put all this theory into practice. Let's see how all these pieces come together in a real-world example. We'll look at a feedback report for a fictional place called the Ocean View Hotel. Now, this is a perfect example of a specific factual observation. See how it's not just a vague, "the staff was nice"? It details the exact behaviors, the warm smiles and promptly addressing inquiries that made the experience a positive one. And here comes the evaluation. Did you catch that transition word, "however"? That's our cue that we're shifting gears. The report identifies a clear weakness, that inconsistent Wi-Fi, and explains its negative impact on the guest's experience. You know what makes an evaluation even more powerful? Data. A simple chart like this is incredibly persuasive. I mean, you can see staff friendliness is killing it with an 85%, but that Wi-Fi speed at 40%? Oof. It's impossible to ignore numbers like that. It makes the issue undeniable.
And this right here is the crucial final step. The report offers a super clear, actionable recommendation. Upgrade their Wi-Fi infrastructure. It's not vague, it's a direct solution to the specific problem that was identified. That's how you get things done.
So there you have it. The next time you travel, you've got the tools to provide feedback that truly matters. You can now write a structured, credible report that has the power to create real, positive change. So the only question is, what will you improve first?